Hello everyone, it's Charlton. Please subscribe to my channel and tap the notification bell. Like this video, that helps me to keep making videos. I'd appreciate it majorly. I sort of just wanted to quickly follow up on the horrible boating fire, the fire on the commercial diving vessel, the Conception near the Santa Cruz Island off the coast of Southern California, Ventura County, I believe it is. And you know the investigation, which is going to go on for some time. There's many complications to this. The fact that most of the vessel went up in the fire, and that it's also 60 feet underwater. Even just getting the remains of the people that were killed has been an enormous challenge, I believe, for the recovery. So. But they are starting to, ramp up the investigation, I believe, and they indicate the National Transportation Safety Board, Jennifer Homendy, who seems to be heading the investigation, indicates that it's going to be 12 to 18 months before they have any kind of firm final conclusions. But in 10 days, they will be putting out a preliminary report that's basically, I think, just some of the facts that they know up till now. But they're interviewing witnesses as well as crew, and it says the crew have undergone pretty serious questioning over several hours, to hear from them as to what happened, Because as it's reported, 5 crew are the only survivors who were above deck and were awake when the fire broke out. I mean, that's what I think a lot of people want to know is how the fire got started, And so the captain and 4 of the crew were able to jump off the boat and I believe swim around to the front of the boat where there's a dinghy, like a small boat that they could climb into and get away from the boat that was on fire. I do believe one other crew member was actually killed in the fire, a young woman, I think 26 years old. Hopefully I'll get to that in one of these reports very quickly. So, I mean, I'm just here just kind of showing you what I was looking at. I mean, I don't have any idea of this, and and I'm no boating expert, even if I was, So, but the in the company, Truth Aquatics, I think they announced yesterday that they're not going to be doing any other trips with the other 2 vessels that they have for some time. I don't know when they're going to resume business again, but it says the Santa Barbara business that owned the boat that caught fire and sunk Monday, killing 34, says it will not take anyone aboard its 2 other ships out of respect for the victims. Truth Aquatics confirmed that all trips are canceled until further notice. So, but their website is still up there, and and all the information that they have on their business is all there. Including the vessels including the vessel, the Conception is what the boat that caught fire where 34 people were killed, and there's pictures of it, I think. I'll show you that in a second too, and it's not revealing in anything. I mean, it's so sad, it's so terrible, man. It's just such an awful way to die as well, but I do again, I do believe many people are just wondering, and my wife has asked me how, because she asks me, she knows I follow a lot of these stories, what caused it. So a lot of people, I think, want to know what got it started. Federal investigators on Wednesday grilled the captain, surviving crew members, and the owner of the scuba diving boat that caught fire and sank off Southern California, killing 34 people. Detailed questioning took place over several hours as the feds are trying to piece together how the tragedy unfolded early Sunday morning near Santa Cruz Island, according to Jennifer Homendy, the National Transportation Safety of the National Transportation Safety Board. Homendy refused to disclose any details from the interviews. The captain and 4 crew members on deck were the only ones to survive when the 75-foot vessel of the Conception went under during a 3-day diving excursion. Everybody else on board was asleep below deck and trapped when the blaze broke out. Over here at KUSI News, the San Diego local, I think, radio station, but I'm not positive. Few details have emerged about what happened before before the breathless captain made a Mayday call at 3:15 a.m. I haven't heard that. I'm sure they've probably released the audio of that. Monday, as he was apparently being overwhelmed by smoke on the boat, passengers would have been sleeping at the time while the boat was anchored just off Santa Cruz Island. Santa Barbara County Sheriff Bill Brown said fire above deck blocked the one stairway and an emergency exit hatch where 33 passengers and one crew member were sleeping in bunks. It's not known if any alarm sounded or what the people below deck may have done to try to escape. Finding the cause of the fire could be difficult with the boat largely destroyed and sitting upside down in 60 feet of water. Other items that could provide valuable clues could have been carried away by the tides or destroyed in the fire that burned so hot DNA was needed to identify the dead. All of that will be a very large hurdle to overcome, said George Zietler, a former Coast Guard inspector who runs his own marine investigation firm. Under federal law, a captain or crew member can be sentenced up to 10 years in prison if misconduct, negligence, or inattention due to duty leads to a death. The law can also be extended to a boat owner or a charterer who engages in fraud, neglect, connivance, misconduct, or a violation of law that takes a life. Some high-profile boating disasters, etc. While lawsuits are almost a guarantee, with such a high death toll, it's not clear if any crime was committed, whether any criminal charges will be coming. We just don't know. So, again, and I'm just pulling various pieces from various reports. The National Transportation Safety Board said it's coordinating a very lengthy, detailed, and comprehensive investigation that involves tracking down inspection records and other documents, interviewing crew members and witnesses, filming the submerged wreckage of the Conception before it can be brought back to the surface. Determining what made the boat catch fire and then sink could take an estimated 12 to 18 months, said NTSB official Jennifer Homendy. I'm 100% confident that our investigators will determine the cause of this fire, why it occurred, how it occurred, and what is needed to prevent it from happening again. I mean, that's, it says the boats do not, I don't know, it's not, and the crew were tested for alcohol and drugs too, the surviving crew. And it was negative for alcohol. The drug test will take some time before, crew members were also given alcohol and drug tests, said Homendy. The alcohol test came back negative, while drug test results are still pending. They take a few days, I expect. And I lost my train of thought. But yeah, the vessel did not have sprinkler systems on there, and it's not required to. But I wouldn't be surprised if as a result of this, future boats are required to be fitted with sprinkler systems. I always, I've seen some of the modern homes, nowadays have them, and certain boroughs require them. Conshohocken does, and I have a home with sprinkler systems in there, and they're a hassle actually. And I always thought, that they were unnecessary. However, watching my parents' house go up in minutes in a different location, these tract homes that are just built with tons of plastics and particle wood and stuff that just goes up instantaneously, you can see why they're required. And I wouldn't be surprised if future, boats are required to have that, of a certain size that are going to have a certain number of passengers, etc. So, Conception, the boat owner, and other crew members underwent hours of detailed questioning. She declined to disclose the details. That's that same NTSB official. Only one person remained missing Wednesday after searchers recovered 33 bodies from the charred underwater wreckage. The victims included an engineer for Apple who went on the trip with his wife and daughter to celebrate the teen's 17th birthday. a special effects designer for Disney, a nature photographer, a nurse, and a physics teacher from Northern California who was with his 26-year-old daughter. Those aboard also included students from Pacific Collegiate School in Santa Cruz, a public charter school for grades 7 through 12, the school said. So they don't have numbers for that there. I saw that, and that means those kids that are teenagers. And then how many students, it doesn't really say there. The only crew member to die was a 26-year-old Allie Kurtz, who had quit her corporate job at Paramount Pictures to work on dive boats and recently had been promoted to deckhand. Flames quickly moved this through the 75-foot vessel, blocking a narrow stairway and an escape hatch leading to the upper decks. So, like I said, the website still has all their stuff up there. These are the three boats that basically compose the company's fleet: the Truth, the Conception, which is the one that went down, and the Vision. The company launched with the Truth in the 70s, I believe 1970 something, 1974, I want to say. I saw that somewhere, but and that one's a slightly different vessel than these two. These two seem to be very similar in the schematics of the boats. They're almost identical, but they are different and they're from different years. And the Vision's the newest boat, I believe. This was purchased in 1985. This was 1981. When's the Truth? The Truth is 1974. So the company started in 1974 with Truth, which is different. And while I'm here, I might as well. So the Truth has, the bunks all here. This did not go down, and a sort of wider stairway that goes up to the gallery, to the upper deck. And I don't know boating or anything like that, so I'm just describing what I see here. I'm not using the proper terminology many times, etc. But so this is the oldest vessel, the 1974. The company launched with this, but it has a different different layout altogether, with a larger stairway to the upper decks. Whereas the Conception and the Vision, which have the exact same layout, exact same, at least by these diagrams, identical, have a smaller single stairway that leads to the upper deck, to the gallery. And I believe these are the escape hatches, but it doesn't necessarily say, I thought maybe this was, but it's not. That's the upper bunk. That's for crew. I'm not sure. So, but and this is the Vision, and this is the Conception. So these are the three vessels: Vision, Conception, Truth. This is the one that went down and was burned, and 34 people were killed. So but there's actually pictures on their website from the boats, from the Vision and the Conception. I'm almost positive, based on the pictures, these two pictures here, these are from those two boats. Even though they're the exact same model, layout exactly, just about. And I'm fairly certain, I'm not positive, but I'm fairly certain that this is the Conception right here, because this seems like the older of the two. This seems just a little bit newer, but they are different. They have different markings in terms of like labeling the bunks. This has like just single numbers. And it just looks a little bit more dated than this. This looks to be the newest boat. Okay, the Vision. Did I get that right? And I'm almost positive the Conception. And there's that stairway that basically they couldn't get out of. I don't know where the hatch is. And if you'll notice, that's a smoke alarm right there. So it's just there. It's so unbelievably sad. I don't know what these pictures are here. If they're safety procedures, telling you, I don't know what they are, to be honest with you, but they look to be something like that. So, in this one, you can't see the ceilings or anything. And I think they had a few minor violations in like 2014 and 2016 that were quickly remedied. And I believe I think I saw somewhere, I wish I had it up. There it is right there. Coast Guard records show fire safety violations for conception in 2014 and 2016 were quickly fixed. There were no deficiencies found in February or August 2000, in February or August 2018 inspections. While authorities have said they view the disaster as an accident, prosecutors from the U.S. Attorney's Office in Los Angeles and Santa Barbara County District Attorney's Office are taking part in the investigation. So, either way, it's absolutely horrible. And but I did see, I don't know which report did describe the crew jumping off, and everybody's wondering if what they could have done. I think an attorney explains that crew are expected to do things that would harm themselves to save others, but not just commit suicide to save others, which is what it might have been. But we don't know. None of us were on the boats and stuff. But I do believe they jumped out and then they were able to swim. I saw a report. I won't be able to find it right now. To the front of the boat and get on a dinghy and then be rescued later that night or early morning hours, because this happened at 3:15 in the morning is when the fire broke out. So it's just hard to know. I mean, the crew was up supposedly at 3 in the morning and I guess preparing for the next day. I think some of these dives maybe are very early in the morning, and there's some kind of explosion or. Another subscriber was saying that, oxygen, because I was mentioning oxygen tanks, which, and he's right. I've always wondered why do they explode? Oxygen is just oxygen. It's not flammable. So, but I would imagine that the oxygen tanks would have fed the fire if they ended up exploding due to the heat and stuff like that, which I expect probably did happen and probably complicated. Could be why the Ventura County Fire Department was saying that it kept reigniting and reflashing back up. So that's pretty much the story there, man. That's the story there. That's what I just wanted to show you, and that's it, man. That's it. So sad, so terrible. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.